I don't know if that actually worked or not. I'm trying to see this. Hell if I know. Let's see here. Close. Well. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that works. Maybe all this works? Hell if I know. Says I'm streaming. I don't know. I don't know if it's working or not. The hell? It's me. I guess I'll just figure this out. Don't want to do that. You can just close the dockable window if you'd like to show it again. Use the dockable menu. Yeah, don't show me that again. Thank you. I guess I'll just look on my phone to see if that actually worked. So... Oh, well looky there. It says I am live. Cool beans. Alright, I'll just go on about my business and start doing this. So... what I am doing today is I have a lot of meshes that are really screwed up, and I'm working on fixing that. I'm not even looking in the right direction of what it is I'm working on. This here bed is what I'm doing right this very moment. In this room, I'm definitely going a bit more gothic style, so I need to switch out the table bed and the chair clearly. So, back to what I'm doing. I got up and ate, and I just sat back down a few minutes ago. So, I'm trying to figure out where I left off at. This looks good. Well, what about here? This doesn't even have one. And that looks done too, so this is probably where I'm at. I'm going to run through this real fast, and then I'll explain what it is I'm doing in a little bit more detail. Okay. So I'll consider that one done. So now I'm working on a cushion. Normally the objects are a lot bigger. I think this is probably the smallest one. Probably those two are the smallest ones. But anyways, let's just cut this on down, zoom in, and we'll work on the whole process. Anytime that you get a mesh in from Unity, this should be your automatic process. So this is one, you want to make empty sections and kind of categorize everything. Otherwise it's a big blob and it gets really ugly and messy. And to do that, you'll just go down to add, empty, and I just use plain axis, and it just makes an empty block that'll look exactly like this. And to move something in it, we'll get to moving. So here's my first mesh, and to make this a little bit easier, the next few steps, I'm going to delete off that dot shape. There we go. I'm going to click on it, hit Control C, and then I'm going to hit Control V 3 times. 1, 2, 3. What that will do is it makes these three here, and I'm going to expand them so I can see the meshes, which are the triangles. There we go. I'm selecting all three triangles, and I'm going to hold Shift click to drag, and then I'm going to hold Alt and then release the click. That's how you move them. That's how you move your meshes without it exploding and going everywhere, basically. And now Unity recognizes LOD straight out of the FBX. To take advantage of that, you will do _LOD 0. Excuse me, that's just outside mowing too. For a few minutes, so allergies are probably going to bother me for a few minutes. So I'm going to control copy that LOD. Of course, it's always in alphabetical order, so we'll drop to the bottom, which makes it kind of easier in a way. And then LOD 1, and this one's going to be LOD 2, and then LOD 3. The naming before the LOD part has to match exactly the same, so it knows which ones are the actual part of the LODs. And then for the next step, your first LOD is always the original untouched. So we just want to see the only one that we're working on right now, which is this one. And then we're going to go down to the modifiers, or properties, I think is what they call it. Modifier properties, yeah, same thing. Then we're going to go down to decimate. And the very first one, I always put it 0.5. Every step that it goes down from 1, 2, and 3, I chop down into another half. So this is 0.5, the next is going to be 0.25, and the one after that's going to be 0.125. Hit enter, and you'll see almost a little bit of change. Okay, we're going to take care of that here in a minute. We're going to hit apply to make that take its action and keep it. Then we're going to do another one here, which is going to be decimate again, and like I said, 0.25. Oops. 25, and apply. Then we're going to go down to the next one, decimate 0.125, enter. And what this does is, in case you don't know LODs very well, it's level of something. I forget. A level of something. Anyways, as you get further back, level of detail, that's what it is. LOD is level of detail. As you get further back, you really don't need quite as much detail because you can't see it anyways. So whenever you get to a point to where you could literally cut it down in half and you wouldn't even notice, they will actually just basically disable all of them and only activate the first LOD. And you should have this set to where you don't notice the change. In Unity, by default, there's no way around it. You'll notice a pop. And there's baking things out there, tools and apps that will fix that, but you have to pay for them. But you know, this is part of the process of making your own crap. So long story short, outside of that popping that you'll notice regardless, this will save you a ton of rendering power. You know, you think, for example, a rock, you know, let's say it has 12 poly, okay, or 12 faces, whichever is easy for you to understand, and your next LOD is only going to have 6, then your next is going to have 3, and so on. So, you know, you think one rock, that's not a big deal, but let's say you have 100 or even 10,000, and that first cut down, you'll notice your rendering is dramatically being saved. The further away from those rocks you're getting, you can stay in the middle of them, and the further away rocks that you can't even notice that level of detail anyways, you're saving tons of rendering power. So really, anytime you bring in any mesh at all, I would highly suggest making an LOD. Unless, of course, that it is so low poly that you cannot. Then, honestly, even then, I'd still make an LOD. I would make an LOD just for culling, which you can do. You'll just have one LOD, and then the end of it will be culling. Which, let me pop this up, and I'll show you, actually. Bed frame. See, the very last one here is just culling. What culling means is it just disappears. It's gone. We're not rendering the textures. We're not rendering the meshes. Nothing. It's not there in game when you get so far away. When you get so far away, you can't really see it, or it just looks like a dot. Just go ahead and cull it. There's no, I mean, it's going to save you a ton. Of course, the smaller the object, you can change the. My microphone is crap. It likes to shut off and on sometimes. I basically have to have music, music playing, or else it'll just shut off. So I'm just going to cut this down a long ways. There we go. So anyways, yeah, the bigger the object, of course, the further away you'll want to be. The closer, or the smaller the object, the closer you'll want to get. That's simple as it gets. I'm not sure if yeah, I did LOD on this. Okay, so now the next step is going to be the data transfer. This is going to fix your normals, which is going to help a lot on the popping. Basically, you have two levels of normals. You have your texture normal maps, and then you actually have your mesh normal maps. These are two different things, but really do the same job. And no matter how great your normal texture normals are, your mesh normals do make a difference. So we're going to try to find the bed cushion LOD0, which is this one. That's your source one, which is going to be your LOD0. That's what all these are going to source off of. Then we're going to go down to the face corner data, custom normals, and I use the nearest corner of nearest face. And I mean, it won't be exact, but it will be pretty darn close. Then when you're done, you just hit apply, and then that will fix your mesh normals. So it'll never be perfect because there's vertices and faces that are just completely missing now, and that's fine because we're doing LODs, but that is just a part of what happens. And by the way, you will always notice a preview as soon as you're clicking on things, but it won't save as into the FBX until you actually apply it and hit save. Well, it really won't save to the actual FBX until you save, but you always want to apply it and get that done out of the way. There we go. And this, that, bing, bam. Now you see, you already notice the difference before I even hit apply. Apply just saves that modifier's job. I'm just going to activate them all so I can know where I'm at. Looks like I forgot to delete these out. I normally do that immediately. Now we're going to bed cushion 3 and 4, which, let me see here. That's this one, and I think that one. And honestly, I don't know why they're two separate ones. I don't think I'm going to have a purpose to keep them as two separate ones. So I'm going to join them as one. To do that, you need to go down to, is it object? Yeah, there it is, object. You can hit Control J for join. And what that does is it just makes it into one mesh instead of two. I don't have any reason for it to be two meshes. And in the process, that's going to save me a lot, because that would be that'd be some draw calls that I'm saving by making that into one. So now I'm going to hit Control C and V 3 times for paste. Open them up so I can see the meshes. So I'm going to grab them. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to drag and drop, put them with the others, with the other or original. Alright, and now I'm going to name them. There we go. I usually just do 4 levels of detail. You can do more. I think you can do up to 8 in Unity, which I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could script it to go much further than 8. But without doing a whole lot of work, I think default's 4, maximum is 8. Okay, so we're going to start off with doing our modifiers again. I do all modifiers part first, and then I go back and fix all my UVs. I'm one of those people that tries to just do one thing at a time in Unity. Back when I was doing a whole lot of modding in Skyrim, I was really pretty much the opposite. I couldn't stand just doing one thing at a time. Okay, now it's time for the data transfer. I'm doing number 3. Yes, number 3. Did I really just do that on the very first one? Fuck. Hit delete off that. I meant to dadgum. This is why I can't do more than one thing at a time. I'm gonna get lost. There we go. You never edit your first one, your original. You leave it. That's where I messed up at. This becomes pretty boring after a while compared to the rest of actual developing. Okay, so those are all done. Now it's time for the last part, which I think is the top piece here. 1, 2, 3. Oop, hit me. My bad. There we go. And by the way, this is DAZ assets that I'm using, so by default they're extremely high poly. Really, under no circumstances should your poly be this high by default. I'm trying to make my game as visually realistic as possible, so mine's going to be pretty high poly. The higher resolution of textures and the higher poly is definitely the harder it is to develop a game, no doubt about it. I have spent almost a year so far mainly just trying to figure out how on earth to make the game work right using higher poly and higher resolution. It has been a hell of a deal. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, I've got it mastered, I'm the man. No, I'm not. I don't have it mastered. I got it a lot better. I got it a lot better. I mean, it's playable. That's pretty dang neat. It's something I take pride in. Whew, that's ugly right there. Let's see what I can do with this. See how much better I can make these normals look by doing this, because I am curious. Never really got to test it too much yet on just pillows, you know. Of course, that's going to look bad at first. And bam. Definitely, well, not a lot better, but better. We'll call it good enough. And you know, when you're cutting meshes down this far, you're never going to get great. In the next step, I'm going to be messing with the UVs. See if I do it like this, see if I can notice a difference better and quicker. Oh, wow. Yeah, that made quite a bit of a difference. That was neat. Okay, so now we have all of our meshes, our LODs ready. We have to just open up everything, I guess. That'd be better. Okay. Now this is going to be the actual bed part. You won't notice any difference in the meshes at all through the rest of this. I didn't select anything. There we go. Okay. So we got to go to edit mode, and then wow, look at that, it's there. Why am I not seeing it? Dadgummit. That's really weird. Why am I not seeing those? I'll tell you what, I'll just make it all brand new. There's literally, what in the actual smoky is going on there? I probably have to hit select all. That's probably what's going on. Look at that. That was the issue. Okay. Now we're back. So this one here that has the camera lit up, this is always for your textures in Unity. Okay? Don't touch. Leave it alone. And for your light maps, it's always the one without a camera. If there isn't one, you just hit plus and it'll make one. And what it'll do is it'll start off with one that look exactly like this, like your original. That being said, we're going to go to UV, Smart UV Project, and I put mine around 75, between 70 and 75. And I usually put 0.002, but really a lot of this isn't going to matter anyways. But I do it anyways out of practice just to make sure. I hit OK. And it'll do its thing and it makes this. Now, this is just fine. This could be considered done. But for further optimization, I am going to come over here and this is a UV packer. It's free in Blender. I use the tar out of it. This is a pretty high quality thing that I got going on here, asset. And I'm going to keep it at 2K for almost all of this because it's that high of resolution. The pillows will probably just put down to 1K. But I'm going to start off at 2K. And I'm going to leave this to pack. And it's going to take a second. Show my progress down here. There we go. It was able to resituate and arrange everything. Because the one I did up here where I just made it, that was the default blenders. It's kind of horrible. It's not optimized in any shape or form. It's made to just be your basic unwrapper, basically. And it does a great job. It is just not optimized at all. It does a wonderful job. But outside of that, by the way, before you pack, I put it at 4. You can definitely change that, but I raise it to 4. I think default's at 0. I put mine at 4 just to give a little bit of leeway for the light map, because light mapping in Unity isn't wonderful. I'll leave it at that. And that's pretty much all I really mess with, is just these right up here. And then I hit pack, which you've already seen me do, and it's horrendous. It looks scary. There's no way on earth I would ever be able to have the time to do this on my own by hand. So I'm glad somebody really, really smart made a cool tool for people like me that are lazy and slow. So that one's done. Now we're going to go to the next one. And I'm on UV map already. And that's already been done. So I'm just going to click on pack. Let it do its thing. There we go, and it tells you, I assume that that's what this means, is that's how much it saved you out of something. I don't know where it gets its numbers, I'll be honest. I don't have a clue. But I do know that it does make a heck of a difference to use this packing. I mean, a heck of one. In the past, I was having I would have a 5 megabyte mesh, and I would just do the default UV smart, and I left it at that. And my 5 megabyte mesh is turning into like 100 megabyte mesh, and it was insane. And I was thinking, this just can't be right. And so I found this packing tool, and after I pack it, I mean, it actually just puts it right back down to where it was, which is really cool considering that you're making an entire UV map, a light map in there, and it's pretty much not even affecting the size of the FBX. So it's really insane about how well it works. But as we go down on the LODs, you'll start to notice this really change a lot more and more. Always make sure you're on your second one, the one without the camera. If you do it to the one with the camera, it's going to screw everything up. And this will go faster on the lower levels of LOD. See, it's getting a little bit more clear and easier to see what we're doing. And it just goes faster each time. Pretty nice. And now we're going to go over here to the cushions. which are these, and I'm actually going to change them down to 1K instead of 2K because it's a lot smaller. We don't need that high of resolution. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it better. And this is the UV. It is very, and it's there. I'll say that much. It's there. So we're going to click on pack. Pack complete, in case we didn't do anything. I think I already went through and done most of these, actually. Because I kind of jumped in this video about halfway through. Let's look at these. Yep. Okay, this isn't even touched yet. So this will be the whole process. So you click on plus and it just duplicates, honestly. Then we're going to go to here, Smart UV Project, and hit OK. It tears it up, and you see it's not, I mean, the best thing they could do is, for example, grab something like this, and you could probably fit it right here, and you could reorganize this towards on a smaller UV map, which would change the resolution size and still get the exact same performance and quality out of it, but yet it would be a lot more optimized. That's the whole idea of what this packing actually does. But as you see, it is just, I mean, almost not optimized at all. We're going to hit pack, and bam. And it always, I notice it kind of starts from the top and works its way down. It goes top down, left to right. And you can see if we had, it would just fill this up if there's more stuff. So that's the first one, and we just did this to all of them. It just gets better and better looking. Now, Unity does have its own light mapping, unwrapper, and everything like that. And I do suggest to use it first. But the bakery actually has a pretty cool tool, which is another tool I use. It's pretty dang expensive, but it's worth it in the long run. Whoops, wrong button. So Unity's unwrapper, it does an alright job, and you should let it do its thing on most meshes. But if you use a tool like the bakery, it'll tell you, say, hey, on this specific mesh there is overlapping on your UV, and then those ones you're screwed on. There's just no real way to go around it. So as long as you know which ones they are, which is what bakery can tell you, then you can grab these meshes, come in here and do this, and it'll fix them. Otherwise, whenever you're baking, there'll be all kinds of goofy black lines and crazy lines all over the place, and everything gets really messed up. But it's only on higher quality meshes that you really ever have this problem on. So it's not like it's a really common thing. But if you're making a game that's even somewhat quality at all, then this is going to be helpful to you to know. Alright. These are very high poly. I don't even know why they're so high poly, but they are. I could probably optimize that a ton, but it's alright. This is probably going to be crazy looking. Yep. Called it. Oop, almost. No, that was right. There we go. So, the way that this is actually working is pretty nicely too. Sometimes it'll rearrange it and it'll put it into a nice corner, and this square, even though it looks the same size in this view, the square may be a whole lot smaller than what the other one was before it rearranged all this, and that's a pretty good optimization in general anyways. So that's great. And as you see in here, these are all kinds of spider webby. They're not so great. There's most likely already some overlapping going, but that's on my texture side. It would take a lot of work for me to do that, and most likely no one's going to be able to tell anyways because this is further on in the LOD. So they probably will never even notice. So I leave it alone and just let it be. But when it comes to light maps, you can, I mean, it'll be different between black and white, very, very noticeable. So with light maps, it is pretty important to have correct. And now we're going to the top of the bed. And since the top of the bed is quite a bit bigger and it's a lot more obvious, we're going to want to go back to 2K. So we're going to put this in there. I gotta have some music going or my headphones will shut off. I don't think you guys can even hear it, which I try to make it where you can't. Okay. So I made my Lightmap UV. Come over here to Smart UV Project. Hit OK. Whew, tore it up pretty good. Now we're going to hit pack, and I'll bet you, yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, see that? That is overlapping real bad. You got spider webs going this way and this way. So we know on this texture there's already overlapping on just the normal texture UV. Cool part is that if there is overlapping and you do this unwrap, it'll fix all of that on this UV, not the normal texture one, but it'll fix it on this one at least. One of these days I'll be professional enough and go back and fix all my textures, probably. Maybe not, who knows. It'd be nice if I could. Yeah, that overlapping gets worse and worse. Which that's what you can just expect, to be honest. Anytime you're cutting down LODs, cutting down meshes. There we go. So we took a standard mesh and we made LODs. We fixed the mesh normals and we made light maps for it all. Wonderful. And now I'm going to export. And I'm not in the right folder. Now I am. It's 13 megabytes. I'm going to export it. This didn't have any LODs or anything in there in the past. So this is probably, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. This is probably going to really increase quite a bit. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so now we're going to open up Unity, and it's going to redo its thing. And as you can see, it's not going to show it right now. That's expected. Okay. So, I only have 4 levels of LOD, so I'm going to go over here and delete these out. Actually, I wonder if it's a mesh collider. You know, it might just be easier if I just delete all these out. And I'll show you the difference. Okay. Bam. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. And here is the cool part about it, is that this is just directly imported from right here, as you've seen. I need to fix this. No animation. Don't rig. Materials I'm going to leave alone. Models. Okay, I'm going to hit apply. There we go. That'll help a little bit. Okay, so this is just, you see me drag and drop it in there. Because we have those LODs, it knows that those were LODs. And it's fixed it all. It done it all on its own. For example, see that? You can see my LODs in there quite a bit. But you will notice as I'm going through my LODs, it's not drastically different. The level of detail, you can see it, don't get me wrong, but you can't see it all that well. If you were further away, you really wouldn't be able to. In fact, that's the idea. Here's the camera, so this shows where we are, and I'm going to show you. As we go back further, we start getting closer to the second level of LOD. I might not even be able to get, yeah, I'll stay like this. I might not even be able to get back far enough before the walls are out. And right here's the change about coming up. And you didn't even notice anything change. And you still don't. And right about now it makes itself cold, which is invisible and you can't see it. Okay, so now we know how LODs work. That's pretty nice and handy dandy. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a mesh collider. And, well, yeah, I need to make a mesh collider. And I'm going to grab the lowest level of LOD to do this. And that is all over the place. Awful, horrible. What on earth? That did not work right. Not at all. Okay, so we're not going to put that there. I'm going to find a different spot to put it because that's just not right. In fact, I know exactly what I did wrong. Why it's doing that. Let's go back inside of Blender and I'm going to fix it. So it's these right here. Okay, to fix that you just hit Control A. I hit Control S, not A. Hit Control A, there we go. And hit all transforms and it fixes all that. The bad part is I gotta do it on every one of these. Actually that's good to go too. Did it fix all of them? Nope. All transforms. All transforms. All transforms. And so on. Just to be sure. I don't know exactly the process of this. Like, I mean, as far as I know, it's just zeroing these out, but I mean, I don't really know in the level of detail to explain it of what it does. But I do know that if you get these all zeroed out, it fixes it all in game a whole lot better, the way that we want it. So I really can't sit here and explain what I'm doing very well. And by the way, here's your transforms if you didn't catch that already. That one just happens to be right. That one's wrong. So you got a 90 and then 0.01. Bam, fixed. I'm hitting Control A and selecting all transforms if you can't catch that in time. There we go. And now I'm going to come over here and hit export, FBX, and I'm going to save over the old one. And when these buttons start lighting up is whenever you know that it's exported. It's exported. That's how I do it. Huh, wonderful. There we go. Now I'll be able to do what I was doing a minute ago. I'm going to grab this lowest level of detail, come up to here and make a mesh collider. And it should work just fine now. There we go. Cool beans, that works better. That makes me happy. Man, it sure looks like that's not the lowest level of detail, but I guess it is. And the pillows, yeah, I'll do it to these ones. It'll be alright. Now, the better way to do this would probably be to add sphere colliders for these poles and make a box collider, which would be like a rectangle for this back one, then the box collider for the bottom, then maybe another one for this foot panel. That'd be the better way to do it as far as optimization. But you also, I mean, you can kind of pick, do you want optimization or do you want a little bit more realism, and you need to weigh the balance of which one you want more to decide and determine of how you're going to do this. And that was my choice, is to do this. And I mean, you can alternate and pick and choose on which ones you want to do that with. See, some of these things like those pillows, I mean, I'm not going to put collusion on them. There's no reason to. And this up here, I'm not going to put collusion on either, because I was playing around with it one day and I jumped up on the bed and I got stuck inside of it and I couldn't get out. So I'm going to leave no collision on that at all and just let it be. That'll be fine. And when you're done, you'll right click, go to prefab and unpack. There we go. Now your light mapping and everything is all perfectly done. That is a wonderful mesh. High ass quality, but it is done. It is great. And I have a whole list of them that I need to fix. I screenshot them as the bakery was shooting out warnings at me, saying, "This is horrible, this is awful, this sucks, you're a horrible person." So yeah. And now we're going to be doing a divider wall, which I feel like I've already done that one. No, this is different. I have two different divider walls. I think this is the other one. Single, full, 0, 1. There it is. Alright. And I'm just going to hit Control F so I can find it. Yep, this is definitely a different one. Okay, so, and this is probably going to ruin a lot of stuff, honestly, but I know I don't have the correct LODs and stuff for this. This is how I find everything. I'll just make it show it to me. And I'm going to highlight everything and delete, because I'm done with all this. And I want to be getting rid of this LOD. I don't want that there. So import. There it is. And this time I'm going to be a little bit smarter about it. And I'm going to fix all this right now, so I don't have to do it later. There we go. Perfect. Now we have our originals. We're going to want to make LODs. Copy 1, 2, 3. Expand them. Expand. Highlight. Drag over. I screwed that up. There we go. I don't even know what I did there. It was just gone. There we go. Make this a little bigger so I can see everything. It's huge. That's what she said. Hey, Jay Fresh, you sexy sucker. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a way to see stuff. Docs, chat. There's my man. Damn it, I can't have it up though. If you were here, you'd be like shaking. All you gotta do is click this and hold that, and it'll stay on top, and you can just see it. Am I right? I bet you probably know a way, don't you? Back chief. Chat. I'm slow, dude. You, I didn't even know you was messaging me until I seen it on Discord. You put, I'm in your stream. I can't hear you either. I don't know. I'm horrible with this. Nope. Oh, you don't know a way to make this stay up top? Huh. You normally know this stuff pretty damn well. You can from a YouTube browser. Yeah. I should probably do that. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to hold up my my Discord, and you can just message me in Discord, and I'll see it, and I can chat with you through that. So just message me on Discord, and I'll just reply to you in voice. Alright. So back to doing what I was doing. I am just simply, I don't know, trying out this whole streaming thing, I guess. Because I'm sure somebody out there, like myself in probably 6 months, will be wondering how the hell I did this and find this useful. Kind of considering it to be a, I don't know, a memory thing for me. Because I know I'm going to forget all this shit in no time. Did you, yeah, never mind. You stream for memory as well? Yeah. I don't think you're nearly as forgetful as I am, though. I'm not as bad as Mighty 9, but I am pretty bad. I was going to ask if you've seen how I did this part right here that I'm doing, actually, but I'm pretty sure that you were doing it the exact same way, if I remember right. Nearest corner of nearest face is what I use. I had to look it up as how I was doing it and found it, and this is what I do. I do it especially during whenever I make LODs, it's very important because sometimes it gets really out of whack, and this helps it a lot. It kind of gets rid of a lot of the popping that you see using LODs. That popping is kind of a vicious animal to fight. The issue, I mean, there's so many pros and cons to LODs. It's crazy. LODs are great, in my opinion, but without a doubt, it's hard as fuck because you have to copy of the mesh right on top of the original. Yeah. The issue with LODs. Okay. So LODs are nice because it's going to save you a ton on rendering. Okay. So you have a high quality meshes with high quality textures. You'll want LODs in the long run by far. Whoops, wrong deal. The reason of that is your LODs are going to be chopping that rendering in half, quarter, tenths. It's going to be really chopping it down quite a ways. But along with that will also come more draw calls. So then you're fighting, you're having more LODs, but you're having now more draw calls. And along with more draw calls, you're also having what we call the popping, which is a never-ending battle. Never-ending battle. But I got it down pretty dang good. I mean, pretty dang good with getting rid of the popping because I'm using the bakery. The bakery is pretty dang cool for, well, it'll bake all the levels of the LED or LOD versus Unity's default. They only bake the first level of LOD, which is a pretty big issue. I don't know why they do that. Doesn't really make much sense. They probably just don't know how. Who knows? I'm sure they do. Probably just too lazy to fix it. Leave it up to the community to fix it. But I did, however, do something pretty cool. I found a pretty cool UV packer. I think I was talking to you the other day about whenever I do the UVs, it was raising my meshes from like 5 megabytes to 100 megabytes. I found the fix for that. It's a UV packer. Basically, it rearranges all your UVs into a way that's more. They're all the same size, but they're a whole lot more condensed, and it chops down your resolution dramatically. And you can even choose what resolution you want it to be on as well. And that fixed everything for me. Pack the islands. That's basically, yeah, long story short. Here in a minute, I'm getting ready to do all that, actually. So, I'll mention something whenever I'm getting ready to do it, then you can watch and see the tool. It's free, too. And it works wonderful. I was looking at another one that somebody had told me about, and I was looking at it, and man, yeah, theirs is great. And I actually stumbled on a different one that I wasn't looking for, and I was looking at how it works and watching it basically, and I thought, man, this sucker's just as good. You have some tools that I need to see. I agree. Well, I'll check that out sometime soon. I know you have all kinds of Blender tools. You're the Blender man at this point. Whew. I just destroyed that wall. Might as well not even be there at that point. I probably won't even keep that level of LOD. What's going on here? Yeah, these two here don't even make a difference. I'm not going to include those. Which, if that's the case, the other one's probably going to be exactly the same. You can see a pretty bad deal there with the normals, with that transferring the face data between these two. I think they're pretty much exactly the same. They're a little bit different because I think this piece here is a part of that, and so this one here doesn't have that right one, and this one here is a full. So I think that's the only difference between the two. So I'm going to do the data transfer, and we'll see if it makes it look any better. Actually, I want to do that so I can see the difference faster and better. Okay. It didn't really fix it, but that's as good as it'll get because of the LOD part of it. But it is a little bit better, so we're going to keep it. That being said, I'm only going to make one extra copy of this one because the LOD is just poopy. I can't cut it down very much. Alright. There's that one. Now we're going to do the data transfer. Well, that one doesn't look nearly as bad. Yeah, that actually fixed up here a lot. Okay. So now I'm going to go over the cool UV thing that I've learned. I need to first go down to UV editing, and there's that. Let me zoom out. Well, I just gotta flip their thing around. There we go. So it's called the UV Packer. So I'm going to make my second UV layer for light maps. I'm going to go to UV, and I'm going to go to Smart UV Project, do its thing, and this is the what do you call it? Not very efficient version. And I already have my settings up here, which I'm going to use 2K on this. So I have that already set for 2K. And my padding I'm using 4. Whenever I was using the bakery, it was telling me that there was overlapping on some of them that, man, I'm 100% sure there was no overlapping, but it must have just been so close it was still triggering it. So I expanded it from over here, this island margin, 0.002. I changed it up to what I assume is double that. I don't know if that's quite right or not, but either way. Then I hit pack, and it tells you that I'm saving 72%. I assume that's what that means. But it definitely, like if there's a big old open spot here, it would grab all these, start shoving them inside that open spot. It works great. Wonderful. And it's perfect. It doesn't mess up. And as I zoom way in, you'll see that everything's nice and further apart to where they're, see that there's a big old gap here. Nothing's really close, so the UV thing shouldn't cry at me anymore. And I'm just going to go through there and do it to all of these. Yeah, it's definitely condensed a lot better and does a better job. It makes my 100 megabyte meshes go back down to 4 and 5 and 1, which makes it a whole lot better. Yeah. Basically, last night I was really hoping to be able to get to the point to where I could just click build on the game and have it ready today. You're on your PC now. Sweet. I didn't realize that you weren't before. So I'll go through the process again. You want me to go through? Well, you'll see. I'm doing it anyways. So last night I went through and trying to get my game to where I could just click build, and I'd be able to test it today. But I kept on having all these pop-ups of bad UVs, and I thought, man. So I knew I was going to be spending today just trying to fix these UVs, because I really want the game to look nice. Because I'm still going to try to have it ready tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to build it and test it tonight. I would really like to be able to, but I doubt I'm going to be able to. All I know is that the game is definitely getting better every week. And that's great. Can't complain. Awesome. And now this is done. And it's going to screw up some stuff, no doubt. Close dupe 3, that's close dupe 4 I'm looking for. There it is. Dang it. The heck? That's not what I meant to do. There we go. $100. Wow. That's probably the issue, big issue. Let's say 125. Well, I don't know. Then again, let me see. That's 100. Okay, so clearly I need to change this. Did I not fix it in here? All's good there. There. Huh. This goofy ass thing. For as screwy as this is, I'm just going to say fuck it. And I'm just going to do this my way. That's 2D. What did I do that for? There we go. Much better. Nice, perfect. I'll call that good. Yeah, probably could have just grabbed the mesh out of that. Let me see. Could I have? No, I could not have. Ah, it's way down there. And that's the LOD one, that's why that's like that. Voila! Okay. What? Why you do that? It's not what I told you to do. So you're tired as AF. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, look at that. You can't even tell the difference in the LODs. There's a little bit right here, but that's it. That's nice. Let's get real close, see if you can tell the difference. Nope. A little bit. Yeah, you can count a little bit. Not bad. Perfect. And they both need to be marked as static, so they'll actually get textures, light maps. And I think that's everything. The only issue is it's inside the rock. I have to go back and adjust that a little bit. Bam. That ought to be good. Yeah. Good thing I haven't used these in very many cells yet. Otherwise I'd be going around having to fix a lot of them. That's fine. Now I got some over here I need to probably fix. Yep. They look a lot smaller over here. Yeah, that's a lot better. Of a horn hanging on this wall. Looks like I need to readjust that actually. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I forgot the horn. There we go. That's that. Thank goodness. You can definitely do menus. I agree. Yeah, your menus look great. Why your DZ character screws up everything. Might be my skelly? I don't know. Every time I try something, it gets worse. That shit looks good. Damn right, it looks good. You could lick your food off of that wood. That's what she said. But yeah, DAZ, man, it's really in general, it's just actors in general, man. It's really messy. And you're saying that this looks good, by the way. I don't know what happened, but my lighting just went absolutely horrible. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's definitely a catch issue because, like, I was just messing with meshes, and after it imported, all of my light maps actually just disappeared off of everything, and I don't really know why. It's not a big deal because, I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm getting ready to make some new ones. But for example, I can go down to Poacher's Den, which is where we start at, the starting cell, and you see all my baked lights are still here. It's all fine. I just don't know what happened in Walthab's Inn, which it doesn't really matter because I'm getting ready to rebake that one anyways. That's what I'm working on right now, is trying to get it to where I can rebake that cell. So, anyways, there's that. It does look pretty dang nice. I don't know, maybe after I load Walthab's Inn, maybe now it'll be fixed. Nope, it's not. I must have boinked something. Boink! Who knows? It's kind of funny because I can click on a mesh and go to the inspector, and, well, if I do this, go to inspector, then I used to be able to see it. I could see my textures for it, my light mapping textures. So I don't know what happened. I done screwed it up somewhere, but like I said, it's alright, it don't matter. I'm getting ready to make a new one. You're going to do an overlap on top of RCK. I'm going to build another system inside there from scratch. Well, it's kind of what you got to do. The RCK system, it's good, but it is the absolute bottom-most layer basic thing that there is. It's not made to... It's just not... I don't know. It's just not complete, to be honest with you, in my opinion. He did a good job, don't get me wrong, but you really just can't use it. Delete those LEDs, I don't want those either. I mean, you can, let me rephrase that. You can use it, and it's a good place to start, but you gotta, one thing at a time, adjust and test, and it just takes a long time to get anywhere with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just, it's dull as hell. You're not going to get anything pretty out of it by any means. Oh. Nothing pretty out of that CK. If you want something pretty, you do it yourself. Did that one. Man, I had this huge long list, and I've got it down to like a quarter of the size. Divider wall. That one's the same one. Where's this one? So as soon as I'm done with this list, I'm going to rebake, and then as long as it bakes all right, then I'm going to work on building, and as long as it builds all right, then I'll release. But I won't be able to actually finish the build, because I think to build this takes a good 3 or 4 hours. Building or baking the lights for this one scene is like 3 or 4 hours. It's huge. Which doesn't really, I don't think it's all that huge, because I mean, I plan on making them a lot bigger. I don't know. guess it is what it is. Underscore furniture in. This bad boy here has overlapping UVs as well. And I have these, no, that's animations. Good deal. Oh, good, I did the LODs right for it. This will be quick and easy for me. Just got to put light maps on it, because I never even messed with light maps before yesterday. As far as building them, I should say. I've tried, but there it is, show and explore. I guess while I'm at it, I'm going to try the face data thing as well on this. That is crazy ugly the way that is. Oh, that did all right. That did all right indeed. It's not as good as original, but that was definitely not bad. Let's see how this one does. Ah, I'm doing the same one again. Dadgummit. Eh, it's alright. It ain't bad. It's good enough. It's an LOD. If it does anything good to this one, that'd be wonderful. This is just a horrible one. I don't think it even messes. I don't think it changed anything. Oh well. Now it's time to do what I came here for, which is the UVs. Hey, wake up. You're dreaming. Oh, I need to. Hey, Fresh, are you still here? Yeah, the dog was definitely dreaming. It was like whining over there, like as if I was kicking it or something. Thought I was probably having a nightmare, so I woke it up. Pretty sure it's back asleep already. But hey, uh, you in a voice chat on stream? Let me know if you in a voice. Will here still? Okay, you're still here. Yeah, you in a voice chat on stream? Let me know. Yep, that's a yes. Let me get into my Discord and I'll do so. Can you hear me? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I can hear you. I got music in the background. There we go. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Sweet. Ugh. Oh no, you're fine, man. You ain't even gotta pay attention. I'm just doing this kind of for me, kind of for whatever. It's something. It's something I really need to get into, anyways. I think a lot of people would enjoy this. It's in the future. Whenever I get done with my game, this will be something kind of cool to look back on. Right? Something to help support the development. Yeah, that'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, but oh yeah. I remember I remember when I first met you, you were pretty big into streaming, and then you got into modding instead. Yeah. Now we're not even modding anymore or streaming anymore. Right? I hear you. If people get so angry at me about it, I'm just like, look, it just doesn't interest me anymore, man. Like I mean, when you compare modding a game versus building your own game, I mean, modding doesn't just it's just nothing in comparison. It doesn't even hold a candle to it. Building it is fun, but the worst part about it is that no one can, like, I mean, it takes a day or two to make a mod. I mean, you can fly through this real quick and easy. But making a game, I mean, no one really gets to see it for a really long time. you know, it's just it doesn't have as quick of a reward to it for even your viewers to mess with it. So they're all like, make a mod because they want something now. It's like, dude, if you can just get a little bit of patience under your belt and wait for this to be done, I think that you'll enjoy this a whole lot longer and a whole lot more. And heck, I'll even mod this game when I'm done with it. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, we'll take this to a whole nother level. But it is right. Well, there's issues. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be cool, but at the same time, well, I don't know. I mean, you could do it. It just wouldn't be. It'd be almost like reinventing the wheel. You know, Unity's already got it. Why remake it? I mean, some things like the uploader that we were doing. That there's that. Why are we just not showing? It's just, well, It's because of that texture issue I was telling you about. Normally, this is actually a pretty dark area, but it's all lit up. Like, all my light mapping just vanished off of everything, and it looks horrible in here. Normally, I mean, that's about as bright as you would see it anyways, because all there is to light in this whole small area is just like that one candle, and I think there's another one just right over here. There we go, that one. Which I don't know, this room here, I just kind of started and then stopped and went to another room. I need to put some more stuff in here, in this area, because there's like, I mean, there's a light at this corner. I should have a, I don't know, maybe something over here on this post here to light up this area better. I try to keep it kind of realistic and not just crappy, you know. Okay, so you're fine. All good? Sweet. Yeah. Like all of us old people do. Yeah, I do it. I do it like crazy. I can hear my kids' eyes rolling whenever I do it. It's that bad. They're like, Dad. Like, I don't even care, man. Deal with it. They do. They just put up with me. I don't know what I'd do without them. uh, it is tough, no doubt about that. Just want to gouge my eyeballs out sometimes. Yeah, it just goes downhill from there. No, 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 no. So they're sweet when they're born, okay? The moment that they're born, they're at their peak sweetness, okay? You know, like, I mean, it starts off with, it really is, you know, you start off with every once in a while they scream and cry, and you can just change their diaper, give them milk, and they're happy again. I mean, you know, that's just pretty dang natural, you know? So as time goes on, you're just changing those few things out, you know? It goes from diapers, milk, nap, to I want that crayon, or I want this or that, and then the other three. And then so he just keeps on piling more unhappy things onto their list as time goes on, and that, you know, and eventually those things that are the things that they need, that they want to whine about, has to start growing and making more room and getting rid of that sweetness all the way until they meet a boy. And at that point, it's over. There is no sweetness left in them at all. They hate you. They despise that you want to protect them. They hate you for loving them. I mean, like my daughter, man, she just comes home, she opens the door, looks at me, and I look at her. We don't even say anything. Just walks on by, goes to her room. In the morning, she comes out, and I mean, oh, she is hell in the mornings. She is hell. She wakes up, comes out of her room, and just stares at me as she's walking on by. I mean, just like, it's not like a, oh, there's my dad. It's a, why are you in the living room? Can't you see that this is my living room moment as I'm walking to the bathroom? You know, it's like she's not using any words, but that's what her eyes are saying when she looks at me. It's like, whoa, you know. I'm not sure what evil demon I pissed off, but they possessed her and they're taking it out on me. So so there's that. Now that I'm done venting about it. They do. They steal your soul and life, and you know, I was actually watching a comedy about it, and this guy was all like, you know, if this was a job application, I don't think I would take the job. They're all like, you know, you walk in for the application, like, oh hi, you know, I'd like a job here, cool. So what's the pay? What's the pay like? Oh, you don't get paid. They're like, oh, well, was there any benefit? No, you pay and you benefit them until you're dead. Like, whoa, wait, what? Exactly. Now, why would I want to do this? Yeah. Uh, oh, your dog wants some other dog time. Oh, they're just right there. Let me outside. He don't care. He's a dog. So, I know that she's outside. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to stand right here and stare until you let me out there. Yeah. Wow. But that's a handful of times. Yeah. Oh, me neither. I hate board games. There's just no fun in it, in my opinion. Grindovich loves board games. He's a board game man. I'm not. Yeah. No, I know, right? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Oh, of course. Ugh. No, there's no way it could be, man. Oh my gosh. They they're so fucking money hungry, that game. Yeah, I know, right? Right. No, there's not, man. No, the original wasn't even called LE. It was they didn't have a name for it. It was just Skyrim. Then the second one was Legendary. Oh no, yeah, second one was Legendary. Third one was Special Edition. Fourth one was Anniversary Edition. Now they're making a board game. It's like, dude, okay, you should have started off with a board game. Okay, make the board game, make it on computer, then make it for whatever else, and let's get on with Elder Scrolls 6. Because that's what they did. I mean, Oblivion, man, they just made Oblivion, then went straight to Skyrim. You know, they didn't. There was almost no time, especially even same with Morrowind. They just went to Skyrim. They're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna milk this cow until it's bleeding to death. We're getting out just raw blood out of this sucker. And everybody's all like, I don't know how you can say that about it, man. I'm like, dude, are you fucking retarded? Jeez. You know, one of the things that I don't know if you remember, if you seen the argument that I was having with those people in the RCK chat room about Bethesda. I was like, man, I don't know how it could be taking them this long. I just don't even get it. It doesn't make no sense. Did you ever hear that conversation or see it? Yeah. I mean, that's so stupid. They're all like, no, man, it would take them a long time. You don't understand. I'm like, no, dude, I do understand. There's like, there's X amount of them. They're all professionals. They have basically unlimited amount of money. And they clock in for 8 hours a day to do this with no distractions. I mean, yeah, what the fuck is going on? There's no reason for this. They should have it done in like a year or less. They're like, nah, man. I mean, they argued with me hardcore about it. Like, dude, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking hang up the phone at this point because y'all are stupid. Love y'all, but y'all are stupid. You know, it's like I've gotten this far in a year from knowing nothing, not even C sharp. I knew nothing, and I got this far. Okay, if there was four of me, I could be almost done probably. You know, I mean, hell. And there's probably like 20 or 30 of them that make a game in professional places, and they don't have kids running around them all day long during the summer. Ugh. Nah, what you need to do is, I'll tell you what I actually started off with, I started off making my own small world is what I did first. The outside world that I have now, I actually had before I even touched, or before I even knew the RCK existed. I already had that. It was one big world. It wasn't split up into pieces. But I had one big world, and let's see here. I made the world, and I mean, I spent quite a while doing it. I got really enjoying it, and I learned a lot by doing that. And then after the world, let's see here. Yeah, after the world, then I got the RCK, and I actually worked on bringing my world into the RCK first, and then I started working on my person. So I mean, I had a little bit of experience with it all first, and I mean, the person bringing in my own character from DAZ, dude, I'm not even kidding. That took me at least 2 months, and I mean, you know me, I dedicated a lot of time to this stuff. It took me 2 months, so I mean, don't give up yet. You just gotta fuck with it for a while. You'll get it. Whenever you get it, the RCK really is a lot of help. As soon as you get your character in at that point, you'll feel it. I mean, you'll feel like, okay, now, yeah, now you'll feel it like this is my world now. This is mine. That probably is exactly all you need. You'll be right after that. Yeah, really, that's kind of how you feel. Because the character part is the hardest part. If you notice, okay, out of all the people that is in the RCK, how many of them have you seen actually using it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he's not even using the RCK. He's not even using Unity, right? But But out of the RCK chat, there's probably 4 or 5 of them that are actually using it and that have actually got characters put in. That's it. And I mean, this has been out for over a year. So think about that. It's that hard. And these people, this is a lot of them. They've been doing this for quite a while. You know. So put that right. But that's what I mean. I mean, put that into aspect that this is how hard it is. You got to give it some time. Whenever you get your character in there, you will be in the top 6 people so far. Just like that. Uh huh. Oh yeah. The thing, what I would also suggest is, like, you're fighting, get the character in there. Okay, well, move on to a different part of it. Start making your world. You know what I mean? Because I mean, no matter what. Ah. Right. Right. But I mean, shoot, man. Well, I don't suggest it. Go ahead and start off in the RCK, and don't delete the original actor. What I actually did is I made another race, and I kept his race in there the entire time until, I don't know, honestly, maybe about 6 months ago I actually removed him. Like, I kept him in there for a long time, and I would just go back and forth until I got things right. Because if I wanted to go into the world and look at something, I would use his character because mine didn't work yet. You know, I did do that. Right. Oh well, you just don't edit his. You just leave his alone and you make another one. You make another race and you make your character, and then you tie in your race into there. That way you can just switch back and forth, and that way you can still see your world. You can still go and build onto things and do all this and do that, and eventually you'll figure it out. You'll get your guy going. And hell, I don't know. Maybe one of these times I'll just download yours and fix your guy for you, and we'll go on about the day. Yeah, but it is. But sometimes you need help. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I need help sometimes. I just really, I go to random chat rooms and find random people, and You know, sometimes they'll hit on me, which is kind of weird. I didn't expect that. I'm like, that's not what I'm here for. Oh, don't get me wrong. The guy was like exceptionally cool to take the time out of the day to help me like that. I'm very grateful, but at the same time, it's like this is weird. I'm really grateful though. Don't get me wrong. That guy, he's cool as fuck for that. I mean, there's almost nobody out there like that at all. No, it's not. Sometimes I feel like everybody does in some of them discords. You know, it's like you go somewhere and ask for help, and like you'll have 300 people offer you all different words of advice, and you know, it's like you think, man, all these people are really smart, and then you go try them, you're like, well, I don't think he. It's like I don't think you fucking understand what the fuck he was talking about. You know, then you go back there, and then after like you know you gain some knowledge about what you're doing, and I mean like you know a year later you look back on and you're like, every one of them motherfuckers had no clue. All they're doing in there is just shouting shit to make themselves feel better, and then you start to hate them people. You hate them to death. Oh, I hate them. There's a lot of people like that. They just want to wave a big old flag saying, "Look at me, I know what I'm doing." And really, it's like, no, you don't. You don't have a clue, and you need to shut up because you're an idiot and you're stupid. You know, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, they're fucking idiots. It's like if you don't know what you're talking about, shut your damn trap. You know, shut your fucking trap. Whew. Okay, I'm calming down. Whoa. I don't even know what 10 million looks like. Yeah, I imagine. Damn. I know what you mean. Yeah. No one nowadays. Nobody ever builds anything themselves. It's just it doesn't know. Although I will say that my mom's dating this guy. He's pretty cool. I like him. I mean, I say dating. They've been together for like 7 years probably. Yeah, but I mean, he's he's one of those people that damn near does it completely by himself. I mean, yeah, he's an older guy, and I mean he gets around like he's not even an older guy. He's really cool. I like him a lot. Right. My mom's kind of had boyfriends here and there, and a lot of them I really didn't like. But this guy, he's pretty wild. I like him. He's he's helped me a lot. Oh yeah, she is. She made me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, your niece? So you would definitely have some older siblings. Oh, so this is a niece-in-law. Okay, I see now. Right. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm having a whole lot of porno flashes in my head right now. Just throwing that out there. I mean, I've seen a lot of them. I got some titles in my head. I doubt it. I doubt I'd be shocked. I have seen things. And not only that, my friend, but let me tell you, I've worked in a prison for 5 years. I have seen many things. You know, once every 3 hours, was it? Yeah, once every 3 hours you got to do count. So you got to count all the inmates. So they all got to go to their rooms or cells or whatever. And I was working in an open dorm, so there wasn't really doors. They had to stand in their designated areas where their beds were. And you have a board, and you just kind of mark them off as you're going down. But there was this one unit called the Unit 6. It was a privilege unit. It actually had doors, and they actually had cells. They didn't lock. They didn't, they could shut their doors, but there was no locks on anything. So, you know, you walk by and you kind of peek your head in the window, sure enough they're there. And you have to look at them. You have to physically detect that they are living, Well, right? Well, every once in a while, you're doing your count and you're looking, and apparently they don't hear you yell count. You peek in a window and you see this guy saying his prayer in another guy's lap while bobbing his head. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it, as a prayer, but it wasn't a prayer. He was bopping his head in another guy's lap. Yeah, he's praying. Yeah. And, you're like, what the absolute fuck, Johnny? Are you thinking, you turn into drill sergeant mode, you kick open that door and you start yelling, and you're calling the yard back up, like, this is not okay. You're not doing this on my watch. You're going to the shoe. It's a segregated housing unit. It's basically a cell that doesn't have any windows or lights, and they're in a brick room, nothing there, and they stay there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I imagine, man. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Right. Yeah. And killed him like that? Wow. He knew what he was doing. Probably. That's wild. I'm ready to leave now. Sorry. Whoosh, killed him. Wow. Oh, goodness. Right, I hear you. I've 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 been on the other end of it. I've been the guard. Like, dude, sit the fuck down. Trying to what? Yeah. No, I hear you. Dallas and stupid out. I don't know what I named you, but you're stupid. uh, yeah. Brinovich is a good guy. I like him. So get to it. I know. That's how it was back when I was trying to help him. I'm like, dude, you gotta figure this out. This is insane. hmm I don't doubt it the least. Why do you think you need that? Oh yeah, I've seen that in his game. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I was using. That thing, man, that's yeah, that's a huge difference and it's free. I mean, that makes that's it. Mhm. Yeah. Hmm. That's cool. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I, I didn't actually. Like, I mean, I zoomed in everywhere, all over that UV last night. I looked everywhere. It just, there wasn't an overlap, but it was saying there was. Yeah. Well, well, my deal was that I just in general used the UV packer versus that standard blender thing that I was using. But I mean, I didn't. I don't know. It wasn't. Yeah, yeah. The original one doesn't. I mean, it does okay. I mean, as far as it's a good basic, you know. But using that UV packer, I mean, dude, you really can't go wrong with that. You really can't. Yeah, it does absolutely amazing. Yeah, right. I can't wait. Yeah, I remember. At this, yeah, at this point, I feel like I know Blender good enough. I can do about anything. But at the same time, it's like, is it worth it? Like making clothes, like you said, would that be worth it? I don't know. It's not. Like for example, I even hate saying her name, Ash Torith. It's like, yeah, you could probably learn to make stuff with that. You could probably do pretty good. But I mean, at her prime, she was making, I don't know, maybe 2 grand a month at most. Not a lot of people really want you to sit there and make stuff like that. And I mean, if she was smart, she's not. She's not smart at all. If she was smart, she would be going over to DAZ and getting in on that market as well. I mean, she would just stop focusing on Skyrim. I mean, granted, don't pull out of Skyrim because if there's money to be made, make it. But you don't have to sell yourself to one market. You can do all of them. You know, for example, she made outfits for Skyrim. Well, why not make a tool that's going to, or even just do it yourself, whatever, convert it from the Skyrim to DAZ 8 body and try to sell it on a DAZ market as well. And then, I mean, you could probably convert it again and sell on another market. And I mean, it's not that much extra work, and you're getting a ton more out of it probably. All right, man, you got to go. All right, bud, you take it easy. Bye bye. Damn. That does look good when I do that. Oh, that's hideous. Ugh, still bad. Yeah, probably as good as it's gonna get. Shoot, I want that to be 2K. Last one. Oh, sweet. It's the same one I already did. Fuck yes. Finally done. Now I get a bake. We'll see if this will do it. Okay. So this is basically the end of it for me. We'll see if there's any warnings. Probably won't know for quite a while. I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't pop up within the first 2 minutes of this, normally it'll pop up errors saying, "Hey, your UV is bad here, there, or wherever." So we'll see here in a minute if there is anything or not. After all those that I fixed from the previous warnings, hopefully they're actually fixed now. I wonder why I have two bar prefabs. One's probably broke. Let me throw that away if so. This cell, Wathab's in. It was originally my testing cell, but then I got to a point where I'd done so much work to it, I thought it'd be a shame if this isn't going to be in game somewhere. So I kind of prettied it up a little bit and made it into an actual usable cell. About 10 seconds left. If I don't get a warning, then I'm just going to watch a movie and let it do its thing. Hopefully there won't be any more warnings. Alright. Well, I guess I'll call it an evening for the streaming. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to try to do this a little bit more often. That way, anybody that wants to follow along in the development of my new game I'm making, you'll be able to follow along. Have fun. Bye-bye.